The troops back home, back to places like Tidworth, Larkhill, Bulford, all on Salisbury Plain and well established. But now totally transformed. Vast building projects, thousands of new homes, fit for a future army.
A lot of thought and a lot of planning was involved in creating not just the infrastructure to house soldiers and their equipment, but to develop communities for army families to move to.
These are the headline figures applying to the whole rebasing programme. 4,437 single living accommodation bed spaces, 1,475 family houses, 54 workshops and garages, 22 messes, 13 regimental headquarters, 12 gyms and sports pitches, 14 road improvement schemes. Perhaps the biggest changes are the single bedrooms for soldiers, made in a modular way off-site, very cost-effective to achieve uniformity of accommodation.
So building behind me is my accommodation block, so that's my main home. Yeah, I quite like it, to be honest, because I think the rooms are in good condition. You get your own ensuite, which is good because then you're not sharing showers or anything with anyone. So I quite enjoy Tidworth Garrison because there's different regiments like everywhere. So even the block next to you could be a different regiment, which means although you might not necessarily always like converse with them and talk to them, it's just that inclusion of the whole army's being brought together.
These three regimental headquarters in Larkhill illustrate that best. It's where 26th Regiment Royal Artillery find themselves after leaving Germany. Part of the Larkhill Super Garrison, part of the Army's impressive artillery hub.
In terms of what they have to work from on a day-to-day basis, it's second to none across defence. It is widely referred to as the best facilities that these regiments have ever had. And of course it's not just the hangars you see here. They have their battery and regimental headquarters all within a short walk from where we stand at the moment. So in terms of their ability to operate, they are compact, their equipment is to hand, and of course the training area is 400 metres from here.
And when the workday is done, those with families could well find themselves living on one of the massive new estates. Walking around these new military estates, I suppose the highest plaudit you can give them is that they are like any other normal housing estate. You wouldn't know this was military family accommodation, and that's what the developers have gone for here. Lots of differences in designs, types of houses, even bungalows now. Of which there are 4 here, and really useful if anyone in a family group needs ground floor only accommodation.
They're lovely houses and really softened the blow for us coming back from these nice big quarters in Germany. But we've come back to some really lovely new build houses. The insulation's great on them, the gardens are a good size, there's plenty of storage, and we've got a really nice community as well, which is it's somewhat like the community that we had in Germany, this estate especially. All the neighbours really come together. If you need a cup of sugar, you can pop next door, which is nice.
Right across the garrisons are new innovations, from massive gyms to 4G sports pitches, sergeants' messes to super diners, not to mention schools and medical facilities. And while there's lots that's new, the heritage of the sites has been retained.
You've got the grandeur of the mess out the front, and then towards the rear where you've got the new buildings. Although they're in keeping with the mess structure as a whole, they do look new and they are quite lush. What the soldier can expect is met now. It feels like very much the opportunities are there, both in terms of where they can live, what they can do, and then what they're able to do in their free time as well, buying the fact that they're living in such a great location.
And that's a key point. Yes, this all came about because of Germany drawdown and army reorganisation. But there was also the realisation that to retain personnel, the offer they received had to be better.
They may think that there is a better opportunity outside. No, one of the driving factor for the ABP is basically keeping them in the army for longer term.
£1.8 billion has been invested in army rebasing. You can certainly see how and where it's been spent in these garrisons across Salisbury Plain. The bricks and mortar are there. The next challenge is to continue to develop strong work and social communities. What makes a community? Is it living together, working together, socialising together? You'd probably say yes to all of those. But the term community stretches further. For example, it's quite possible to have communities right next to each other that barely interact. The military base behind the wire, the local village outside. That's a simplistic example, I grant you, but the integration of the civil and military communities in areas experiencing army rebasing has been right at the heart of decision-making. Take the new early years daycare centre in Tidworth. Not closed away inside a base, but accessible and designed to be open to the whole community.
The Army and the DIO have absolutely been focused on working with the local community, the local councillors and Wiltshire County Council to make sure that everything from roadworks to housing to some other facilities, so that the all-round package is there, not just plonking stuff inside the wire for the soldiers. So it is, I think, a total sort of facilities package solution that I think everyone's going to benefit from, not just the Army but also the local community.
St Michael's Primary School is on the edge of Larkhill and caters for both communities. 20% of pupils here have no military connections.
There have been huge challenges, but I think we've done extremely well as a team. And it's good to see that the people living in there are starting to work together as a community. There's lots of work to do on that, but it's relatively new, isn't it? And you know, in essence, the houses have only been completely full for about the last 12 months.
And it's that team approach that's driving the remaining development. The new medical centre in Larkhill will be open to the civilian community, and there's to be ongoing dialogue between Wiltshire Council and their military residents.
You know, the military have brought an awful lot into the county of Wiltshire. You know, in terms of disposable income now, something like £500 million a year. Also, the MOD contributes to council tax. I think Wiltshire Council receives something like £1.5 million a year. So, you know, the military are big in Wiltshire, and I think a previous leader has said the military actually are the beating heart of Wiltshire County. And I would tend to agree with that. And of course, we put our money where our mouth is. They employ me to link in the military and the civil community. And of course, it really is one community.
So while some places like the new Super Diner in Larkhill remain a military-only facility, as you'd expect, many other elements, from roads to schools, have been improved or built with the intention of supporting the entire community. Time will show if the aspiration is matched by the reality. Tim Cooper, Forces News, Larkhill. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.